Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 168 of the Orange Pill Investor. Friday is roll day. I'm excited to get in here and make some things happen. I was actually going to jump in and sell some CLSK puts yesterday, and then I was rudely reminded that it's a holiday. So, but the price is still uh, down nicely. So I will be looking forward to selling some puts for next week, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself in my excitement. So let's do our chores first. A couple of things. I did smash by some Bitcoin overnight. I couldn't help myself at like 58. I think like at 59 and 57 or something. So my average trade price is 58 something. Of course, I can get an even bigger discount here. But on this trading platform, I can't actually move these to cold storage. So this is literally buying just to sell later. I just couldn't help myself. Had some buying power. And just a little quick point before I get started. I still don't understand why people say, they just never take profits. And I understand the concept of never sell your Bitcoin. And people say it's too hot, it's too hard to time the market. People suck at time in the market. But when if if your cost basis is 15,000 or 20,000 on Bitcoin, and you eclipse all-time highs by like 5%, almost 10%, you can't you can't bring yourself to sell 0.001, like $700 worth of Bitcoin. And even if somebody says, oh, well, you're going to pay capital gains taxes on it. Okay. You're going to pay capital gains tax on $700. Like, who gives a shit? Um, because at some point, I mean, when you're all in, as a lot of us Bitcoiners and MicroStrategy, irresponsibly long MicroStrategy investors are, there's no frickin' dry powder left. The only way that you can get dry powder is to sell at some point. I mean, of course, I guess we're all expected to be working a 9 to 5 job, but I envision a future where I don't have a job, and the only money that I will have will be money that I make from money. So eventually, this account is just going to be it. I'll either be able to rent my Bitcoin, loan my Bitcoin, collect a yield on my Bitcoin, or my MicroStrategy holdings from selling covered calls on them, or I will borrow against them and then I'll peel off a little bit of it to make the payments or something. But I think about this in a closed system where my total account value is all there is. There's no money coming in from outside the system. So the only way to make that grow would be to somehow figure out a way to buy low, sell high. I think a lot of these TradFi investors and even some of the Bitcoin maximalists that bring the TradFi mentality with them are just, okay, I have to buy this and hold it for 30 years and then maybe I get to enjoy it. But I mean, is it really that hard? Um, and if you don't get it exactly right, like if you don't time the absolute top, does it matter that you sold 0.001 Bitcoin at 67 and now you can get some more at 55? And the other thing too that pisses me off a little bit about people complaining about paying taxes, and believe me, I'm an anarchist with no qualifiers, so I am not for paying taxes. However, if you take a little bit of profits and then you buy back in at 55, you've just raised your cost basis. So the next time you have to pay taxes, it's not as bad. So you're, an event in the future, selling and taking profits when your cost basis was 55 versus maybe when you started buying it when it was 15 or something. Maybe I'm full of shit. I mean, I haven't done the math on it about whether I could, in the long run, I will beat someone just hodling and when they're 72 years old, finally paying taxes on some shit. But I just don't find a lot of their arguments convincing, which is why it doesn't bother me um, to sell covered calls and basically take profits every week. So that was the longer intro than I had planned on, but let's just go for it. So was it 9:40? Let's see how long this takes. Stuff that is expiring today. I got a 12 and a half put on HUD. This is worth almost nothing. So I should probably, you know what? Is this one of the ones that I have with, I'm getting so confused now. So I'm trading alongside with a couple of accounts on X. And so we might need to roll this. But let me just take care of it. I'll message those guys. Wait, how many do I have? Yeah, I just have one. Let's try to pay $1. I should be able to get this too. Close for $1? Nope. Okay. You want $2. I want my $2. All right. So took, look, 99% profit on that one. However, last week I sold a bunch of at the money puts on HUT. And I need to check and see if I prefer to do CLSK, or if I want to let myself get assigned. I would prefer to, well, that's going to like double. Let's see what's HUT trading. Oh, HUT and CLSK are trading at the same amount right now. Hmm. All right, so if I played a, if I go ahead and close these, and the reason why I'm interested in trading CLSK now is I was alerted to the fact that they are now trading in pennies. So I can obligate more capital. Let's buy this back. Let's try 104. I can obligate more capital per contract fee using CLSK. This July 26th covered call is way in the money. Might have to let this one go, but this is another one that I'm trading with another account on X. So let's just jump down to, so this credit spread is gonna, looks like it's gonna be a loser unless the price of MicroStrategy goes up above 1400 by July 19th. So that's why, this is only like 1/4% of my portfolio, just to make sure that this doesn't hurt me. All right, here's the two covered calls. So I sold these 2 weeks ago before I went on vacation for August 2nd. They're now at 28 days. I can basically, I got paid 6 grand a piece, and I could close these out for a very tidy profit. So let's try to get this filled a little bit over the mid price. Nice. And here's the part that's kind of scaring me a little bit. So, MicroStrategy's been taking a dump, and if it does something like this, where it just whipsaws back up, went from 1,000 to 1,300, if I'm not careful with these strikes, I could end up picking up pennies in front of a steamroller like my critics are always fond of throwing my face. But let's take a look and see what I can get for, let's see, 10% call away value would be 120, so that puts me at 1340. Can get about 2% premium there. So add another, let's see, 1460. Okay, at 1460 for next week, I can only get about 700. So that is unfortunate. Let's look and see, getting 1% mid price would be right about here at the 1400 strike. So what is that, about 15% call away value? Let's try that. All right, those went through. So got about 2,400 bucks for that. And I thought I had canceled these working orders, but apparently, I don't know. I was having some internet problems, and I was trying to actually get some cheap MicroStrategy leaps Wednesday before the close, and I guess I'm kind of glad I didn't because I'm able to get them even cheaper this morning. But as soon as the market opened, this these two wait, where the hell is it? Right here at 9:30. These two February 21st 3,800 strike leaps filled for 6,300. So even though I guess somehow I had left 7,400 in there as the limit purchase, I actually got filled for a better price. I was a little bit worried about that and kind of pissed off. But once I realized that I actually got filled before my, below my asking price, that made me feel a little better. All right, but that did cost me. So I've already spent like like 12 grand on new purchases. I will definitely not collect 12 grand worth of premium to pay for all of that unless I sell off some more Tesla to pay for it, which is up bigly. All right, we'll deal with that in a minute. How far did I make it down here? So this is another put credit spread that I added just the other day, which is almost in the money. Uh, if MicroStrategy ends up going down to 1,000 or something, those could get ugly. But again, this is like a third of a percent of the total portfolio, so not a threat in the long run. These were the original protective leaps that I purchased, and you can see that my average cost was 5 grand a pop. Now I sold a few of these at like 12 or 15 grand, and took some nice profits here. But these were basically just protective, so that if MicroStrategy spikes, I won't lose my shares. I can just sell these, pay for the roll, and so I still have these, but these are all losers now. So I could have sold these for triple profits, and now they're basically 50% losers. Same for these 3,800 strikes for what is it, like 200 day DTE here, average cost is 10 grand, and they're only worth 4 grand now. So about 5,500, six grand down on 6 of these. Was that 36 grand? So these these were supposed to protect me onto the upside, but they're a huge liability on the downside, and that's why leaps are so dangerous. The prices on these can collapse very quickly. So if you're worried about high high risk and options, these are definitely the ones that your mom warned you about. And they're not exactly protective. I mean, they kind of still are. If MicroStrategy does whipsaw and rockets up past my 1400 strikes, I'll profit from 1200 to 1400 if MicroStrategy goes to 1800 again or 2000. Um, these leaps will appreciate quickly. So I'm still basically kind of trying to DCA into them, and I'm trying to get to the longest DTE that I can afford. So I could have bought 2 more of these or 4 more of these for the same price that I bought February 21st, and then I would DCA this 10 grand trade price down. But I want the longest days to expiration that I possibly can get. Theta is generally smaller and you lose less per day. I tried to go out to the next one, but it was just way too expensive. I think it was like 17 grand a pop. So I couldn't go out past a year. All right, that looks like all the MicroStrategy stuff. This 100 shares of Riot, I trade this one with my son, so I will wait on that one. I do want to see. Actually, let's finish Tesla, and then I'll pick up. I don't know if I'll be picking up any new positions since I just bought 12 grand worth of fucking MicroStrategy leaps, but we'll see. Um, I did close out my. How many hut positions did I close out? Yeah, I closed out hut 20 hut puts. So we'll see if I want to add how many CLSK I want to add. I could even do that in the other account. What do I have in here? Yeah, I got 20 hut puts here. I could turn that into CLSK. All right, Tesla. I got these 400 shares. I already closed my 2 poor man's covered calls, took some profits there, but I still have these 4 covered calls that I'm upside down on. These will absolutely get called away today if I don't deal with them. So let's just close them. See how much this cost me. 46.90, 18 grand. All right, done deal. That reduced my buying power significantly. But let's see what I can get next week. At the money, I could get like $800, but let's say if I want to build in 10% call away, that's $25 a share. So that would put me right around 275. See if I can get anything decent at 275. Not quite 1%. So let's dial this back up to 270. All right. They don't like that. So let's try to get 267. All right. Picked up 1,000 there. So paid 18 and only able to get 1,000 of that back so far, which is fine. But I do still have 4 of these leaps, and I can make about triple my money almost. So let's close to. Oh, close two more of these. Change that to a 2. All right. Made about 6 grand there. Well, 4 minus what I paid for them. So the question is, do I just want to unload all of my Tesla Leaps or just keep these? Let's keep those around. When is Tesla earnings? Tesla earnings 723. So let's just keep those two around in case there's another run up ahead of earnings, and then maybe I'll sell them. So implied volatility tends to increase. The site can't be reached. This makes for stunning video. Clearly connected to the internet. So what is the deal here? Can't imagine that it's actually down. Okay. All right. So what I wanted to show was the implied volatility chart for Tesla. It's probably going up as earnings approaches. So the value of these leaps may actually increase even if the price doesn't, just because of fluctuations in implied volatility. So I may look to just peel these off right before earnings crush. All right, that's all my positions. All right, so I got about 73,000 in buying power. I think I'm done with this account. All right, let me come back to the IRA. I got 20 HUT puts. These are a little bit of losers, so I'm just gonna close these because I want to get out of HUT and get into CLSK. CLSK is on a little bit of um, a dip, I suppose you could say. And I want to add a CLSK position. Why do I have so much buying power in this account? That's weird. I don't think I have that much money in it. So that's interesting. I guess with margin, they're just giving me a shitload extra. All right, so I am just interested to see. Let's do short put go. If I do one of these, let's see what the buying power is only going to be reduced by 600 bucks. That's less than 50% margin requirement. Okay, liking that. So let's try to get 49. Super. Oh, I actually went down one strike. I guess because the price is fluctuating here. So I could have gotten a little bit more premium. I still ended up getting 3% ROI at the 15 strike, so not even at the money strike. So actually that might have been a little happy accident there. All right, so I've obligated about half of my buying power, which, you know, 10 of these should have cost me, what, 100 shares would have cost me 1,500. So 1,000 shares would have cost me 15,000. And double that, it should have cost me 30. I don't think I have 30 grand in this account. So so I think even though they're telling me I got all this buying power, trading on margin is a dangerous thing. So I will probably just stand pat here and be happy with my 3% ROI for the week. That account's done. Let's hit the IRA. All right. I think I took profits. I don't know what the hell I took profits in, but I got about 1,000, 1,300 buying power here. So let me see if I can close these HUT positions. I got the 13 calls for today, or I could just let these get called away. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to close them all, and I'm going to open up some more Riot positions since Riot is cheaper. Let's try to get 1290. All right, that increased my buying power, so I took about 6 grand, 5 grand worth of profits there. Refresh that. All right, so I've got my one MicroStrategy share. I've got my 119.50 covered call. So let's close that. It'll cost me about 800 something to close this one. Hmm. So this poor man's covered call that I constructed here is fading fast. And even this, wow, this protective leaps that I bought here is worth very little. So this is down like 9 grand here. All right, let's sell our new covered call. What did I go to? 1460. It's like I can get 1%. Oh, actually, sorry, this is a poor man's covered call. So the value on this is about 40,000. So 1% would be about 400. So I only need to collect. Am I figuring that right? Yeah. I only really need to collect about 400 to get 1% on this. That's like way the hell. Okay, so a full 20%. Let's do the 1,500 strike for next week. No fill. Let's drop this down a little bit. Keep walking it down. Okay, that got filled. All right, so got about 9 grand of buying power here. So again, what is the cheapest? So February 2025. It's 231. Let's see the cheapest. Yeah, see the cheapest leaps at December 2025. 20 grand cannot afford. And which DTE leaps do I have here? Yeah, I've got one in February. So let's see if I can add another one. Okay, that worked out. I was able to add another leaps here. My trade price dollar cost average down to 10 grand, so I'm only down 3,500 on each of these now. Got 3 grand worth of buying power left over. If I drop 700 shares of Riot, that would 7 times 9, 63. I could actually get another one. Or let's just add some positions instead of putting too much money into these leaps. So if I buy, I could dump Riot and get CLSK, which is a little bit more expensive. Is that what I want to do? Let's just hurry and close this one while I'm thinking about it. $2 for that. Close all 6 of these for profit. All right. If I close these, that will give me about 6,800. That'll put me around 10 grand. And I can just buy all CLSK in this account. Or I can get 350 shares, which would get me closer to getting a full lot. Like 20 contracts of Riot. Okay, let's just keep buying. What did I say? I can get 350 shares, approximately. Reduced by 32.44. All right, let's do that. Okay, that went through. All right, so I've got, I gotta get my freaking glasses out. I think that's 1,093 shares. All right, so let's just get 7 more. That will give me to 1,100. I can do 11 covered calls. $10 strike, that's about 75 cents in call away value. 10% would be 90. So that'll work. I say I got 11. All right, got about $300 worth. All right, so I got 300 bucks. Let's buy. How many shares can I buy for 300 bucks? 37 divided by 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So let's try to get 40 shares. Yep. 41 shares. No. Okay. Jerks. Fees, I guess. All right, cool. I got one lonely MicroStrategy share. I got the 1500 strike for next week. I got this leaps that's getting crushed. This thing is down like 40 grand. 45. And was able to add to my leaps position here. Added a few hundred shares of Riot and collected some more premium there. All right, so that's all of the main account Tasty Trade stuff. Let's check the let's check the 5K account. This is still up like 40%, so that's cool. Let's see what's expiring today. 4 Riot, 9.5 puts. Can just let those get assigned. So let's do nothing. This $15 hut call is already out to next week. Why is that? Remember that? Why the hell I did this to this date? All right, so I don't have to do anything with this right now, but should I? Probably not. And this one is already out to August 2nd as well. Let me see what the date on this is. When the hell did I do this? I sold this on June 21st, so right before I went on vacation. I don't know why I didn't just roll it out to. Oh, yeah, my bad. 8/2. That's a month from now. Let's see what I can get for next week. Probably just have to sit on these. Yeah, I would have to take a little bit of a loss to try to roll these, to try to close the 8/2s for $1.60 and then just pick up $50 next week. All right, so I'll just sit on these again. But my Riot $12 calls are not being threatened. So I can take some profits here. How many of these do I have? This one. All right, let's try to close this one. Sold it for 59, bought it back for 26. That'll work. All right, so selling a new covered call for next week. 10% call away value would be 90 cents, so 10.20. So I either have to take the 10 or the 10.50. Sell the 10, collect about almost 2% for the week. This doesn't fill in like 5 seconds. I'll just go to the bid. All right, cool. Collected $16 there. Okay, I did take some Tesla profits here as well. So my average cost for these bad boys is 55 cents a share. And I sold two at 292. I sold one at 196. I sold another one at 230. So I'm just going to sell another one of these while Tesla is up. Let's check the buying power. So this is a margin account as well. What did I just sell that for? 200 bucks? All right, so let's buy some more cheap MicroStrategy with that 200 bucks. Plus the little bit of credit that I got from the other one. Let's do 250. Is that going to give me 0.2? That's going to put me over one whole ass share of MicroStrategy. That's cool. My average cost is still 14.19, so down 200 bucks on this. But the next time MicroStrategy pumps to 2,000, we will sell off some of that and buy some cheap whatever. All right, so Monday morning, I generally do all my rolling on Friday, but Monday morning, and actually, you know what I can do? I can just close these and just buy Riot at the current price. It really just doesn't matter. Because if I get assigned these at 950, it really makes no difference. So in the interest of just getting this done today, I'm going to close these four. All right, now let's go to Riot and let's buy the 400 shares. And now I can sell the covered calls that I wanted to sell. And let's do 4. Actually, let's do 2 not so greedy and 2 greedier. Okay, that don't want to fill at the mid. So let's sell at, yeah, 5. Should get an insta fill. Thank you. And let's sell 2 more with only very little call away value in here. But about 3% premium. Only 30 cents call away value. All right, why do I have so much buying power? I wonder if the hmm, you know what? Let's see if I can add a CLSK here as well. Let's just sell a put and see if how much margin this uses. It's saying 1550, but where is hmm, usually there's a little tooltip for margin requirements. Let's go going on here? Yeah, right here, buying power available. So initial requirement on Riot is 60, maintenance is 50. Okay, here we go. 50 and 45. Okay, so this should be fine. Okay, let's sell the $15 strike. And let's walk it down. Let's sell it for 51. Should give me 51, right? There we go. Now it did say that it's charging me the full 1500 in collateral. So that's what's my buying power now? Shit, what's my buying power before? Wasn't it like, yeah, it was like 8600. Refresh the screen. Okay, so yeah, I just lost 3 grand in buying power. Okay. I don't know how that makes any sense, but who knows how these fucking platforms are calculating margin requirements. Maybe if I had purchased the shares, it would have gave me a margin discount instead of selling the put. I don't know. But that's another thing to take into account, which trading strategy you're going to use if you are using margin. Not financial advice, but margin can be dangerous. So, all right, so it's been holy shit, 40 minutes. I think I did a hell of a lot of talking on that one too. But that's all the trades for today. So, be good, Joe.